everyone, and welcome to this week's DSS Break. It's great to have you with us today. We're here live every other week or every week, depending on the time of the year, to discuss the world of data science, AI, and machine learning. And we chat about unique experiences and best practices with leading data professionals in a 15-minute break. I'm Anna, the founder at Data Science Salon, and today I'm streaming directly from our headquarters, which is located in the heart of Miami, just a few blocks away from the design district. And today I want to give a warm welcome to Tazo Leshanakava, head of data science and AI at TBC Bank. And Tazo is an extraordinary innovator who brings quant experience to the company, and he's leading multiple data science teams, including AI, R&D, ML ops, and 2 data science teams working on data-related products across TBC Bank and its subsidiaries. That's a lot of things, and thank you so much for being here with us today, Tazo.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the warm intro. I'm definitely excited for the SF Salon coming up, and let's have some discussion here today.
Awesome. No, I'm super excited too, and I think let's dive right in. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get into machine learning and AI in the first place.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been a lover of math since I was in elementary school, and I guess I've always wanted to follow quant disciplines. And it was not until I graduated undergrad that I got familiar to actually this world of machine learning and data science and AI in general. And what excited me the most was the practical applications of some of the math that's underneath all the algorithms that we use in machine learning in data science. So it was very exciting to see that it's not just the theory that I studied at school, but then you also have very exciting applications.
Right. No, for sure. No, that's awesome. And yes, we know that, the root of all this is in math, right? So you definitely have to have a really strong background to be a leader like yourself in it. And let's dive right in. Could you share your approach to maintaining a balance between technical expertise and domain knowledge within your industry and your teams and just in general? Because I feel like that comes up a lot. So I wanted to see kind of what your thoughts were on this specific topic.
Yeah, of course. So in my current role, we actually have about 20 data scientists at the firm, but there is over 100 people who are involved in data-related projects. And the way we are structured is that even though people rotate across different projects and products, we keep some of the, I would say, domain umbrellas, so within which certain data scientists would rotate among different projects, and they have separate knowledge sharing meetings with product managers and other more business related people. So that's how we manage to keep some domain knowledge within the data scientists. In terms of the expertise, then we have this separate stream of expertise sharing and career growth within these 20 data scientists that we have 1 day a week that we spend solely for competency development, and we have different meetings, sharing, discussing academic papers and things like that.
Cool. No, it sounds, like you have a lot on your hands there. Could you discuss a little bit about the challenges of setting up model risk management department at the bank, and how you overcame them? I'm sure there's a bunch of them, but maybe you could talk about like the top 2 challenges that you face.
So yes. So when I joined TBC Bank, we started this new division of model risk management, and there was no such thing before I joined the firm. So I was the first person in the team, and I was supposed to set up a team, but that happened early April of 2020, which is COVID had just hit, and a lot of constraints for the budget. So it was very difficult to navigate with the changed environment. Everything was remote. Nobody wanted to hire new people because of the crisis. So for quite some time, I was just by myself, and that was really hard. That was one thing, and the other was that all the teams that used to create different models, machine learning models, and all that within the bank, they were used to doing this just by themselves and having no one else cross-checking it, because they were the only people who had similar expertise, and they felt like magicians and the only magicians, right? So this model risk management was a new unit that was considered like internal audit. So there was a lot of tension into navigating how they would see this as a value creation rather than enabler, rather than a blocker for the organization. So I would say those two were the main challenges for me.
Nice. Well, it looks like you overcame them. So congratulations. And the next question I want to ask also comes up a lot in the industry, and that's about, ethical considerations of data usage and model transparency. How do you guys, what is your, I guess, perspective on that, and how do you guys deal with that internally?
So over the last couple of years, we had a huge progress in that direction. I mean, we have much stronger model risk management team at TBC. We have a strong data governance department. Our regulator has become much more aware of this, and they have put a lot of restrictions. And because we are a financial and really large institution within the country, they don't give us a lot of room to innovate, I would say. And so they're quite strict. And then we also follow GDPR standards in terms of data privacy and all that. So whenever we want to create something new, it's not enough to justify, let's say, by saying that it's improving customer experience or something. We always have to justify it by making sure that it helps the customer in terms of their data privacy and risk assessment or mitigation. So there's a lot of control units that are in place. So even if we wanted to be very free in terms of creating new things, then you have these layers of control that take care of these things.
Good. No, it sounds like you have that handled, and I think that's probably, the most critical thing, to think about these days with especially the Gen AI stuff, right? Out there now. And what do you think would be the next kind of trends for banking in the next 5 years, like the top 3? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, definitely, you mentioned Gen AI, so definitely it's something that everybody's talking about today, and even non-tech companies, right? So financial institutions, they hear about these things. Maybe they don't always have the top management that's aware of the risks or opportunities. So they just hear these buzzwords and they want to implement AI, right? And
Yes.
and I think what I've seen a lot of times is that they just demand this implementation or AI applications without actually understanding what kind of value it can bring. So I think the challenge for the next couple of years within Gen AI space is figuring out the use cases for these financial institutions, where majority of the use cases used to be based around structured data, and now, like, sure, you can have chatbots in customer service, but you can't really have what we call hallucination when you deal with the customers, because it's very sensitive, right? So I think there's a lot of challenges in finding proper use cases in financial sector within Gen AI space. If we talk about more traditional AI, I think there's a lot of opportunities. I mean, cloud computing, the progress that we've seen in cloud computing during the recent years has given us huge opportunities in understanding the data that we collect and analyzing it better, and making some of the MLOps, I would say, practices in very efficient and put in place so that we update these different models more frequently. We have a lot of controls and optimized end-to-end processes and things like that. So I would say financial institutions would still see a lot more value from doing more traditional ML within the structured data. And the Gen AI or LLMs will be more for branding, I would say.
That's interesting. I like that. I haven't heard that like put that way before. So that's cool how you said that. And I think there's a whole thing now, LLM ops, right? So that's like a whole other thing now. I see all these communities being formed now around that whole thing. So I feel like, yeah, there's a lot but I like that. I think you're totally right about that prediction. So, and then my last question would be for you to ask you, what are some of your favorite tools, resources that you like, that you use, that you think would be interesting to our community, that maybe some even open source things that you like,
I would say this question will be better answered by my team members, who are more hungry for new knowledge. Today I use ChatGPT a lot, of course. I like Hugging Face. I'm a huge fan of Hugging Face in AI space. I even feel overwhelmed with the amount of updates that we have daily. It's really hard to follow. There's so many things there, and because it's become such a popular community, I don't think you could miss a lot of things if you just follow that one source. But of course, in terms of understanding theoretical side of the algorithms, some of the online courses really help. I think all of it is basically accessible for free, especially for students. And Andrew and G is doing a lot of pioneering, right? The AI education with deep learning AI and all that. So I would say just following Hugging Face is really key to knowing what are the trends, what are some of the professionals discussing, what are people thinking about, what are some of the technical challenges that professionals are trying to solve. But then understanding some of the basics, it would be traditional going to these online resources, whether it's Coursera, Udemy, Deep Learning AI. But my favorites, of course, Andrew. He's been great.
Good. Yeah, just don't tell Jon Snow Labs that you love him. Because yeah, we do the NLP Summit as well. So, and now we added LLMs to that as well, because that's so, everybody in that community is really interested in LLMs now. But no, thank you so much, Tazo. It was really great to speak with you today, and thanks for sharing your experience with the audience. It was a pleasure to have you, and I'm really excited to meet you in San Francisco just in a couple weeks, and you're going to be talking about AI best practices through the lens of banks and startups. So I'm really excited to learn more. And if you guys can join us in person, we're going to be live streaming, and we'll share a link where you can all register for the virtual part as well, because we're getting close to being sold out, which is really exciting. We do have smaller events, but still it's really exciting for the community to be together again in SF. So yeah, thanks again, Tazo. Thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Thank you for having. Have a good weekend.